does not necessarily or ownership of this station.
It's time to get on the right path with Right Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today.
All right, fellas,
Get
stand
ready.
by.
The guy that will put your fears behind
right,
you
guys.
is on
Hot
the air
mics in
now.
5,
Taking calls
4,
at 713-785-1817.
2,
Toll free 877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Tom Perry.
Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Right Path Real Estate Radio. Our call-in number is 713-785-1817. We're live on AM 1110 in Houston, Texas from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., Monday through Friday. We are rebroadcast from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on AM 620 in Dallas. So if you're listening in Dallas, then welcome to the show from 3 to 4, but we're not live during that time period. So if you want to participate by calling in at 713-785-1817, you got to do that tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. We're live Monday through Friday. Jason will be on. We do Investor Fridays. So Jason will have an investor in here. That should be the format. And we actually have our weekend retreat starts this weekend, and we're excited about that. And live in the studio today, I have the guys from GreenTree Foundation. So welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hey, good morning. So, when you're a brand new investor, I think one of the things that scares people the most about starting out, either doing buy and hold or buy, fix, and flip, if I'm successful in life outside of real estate and I want to start adding real estate to my investing portfolio, probably the scariest thing to have to deal with is foundations. Because, in the retail world, foundations are really expensive to fix. They're very timely because I know there's a lot of tunneling that goes on because they don't do interior repairs the way investors do them. And so on the one hand, as a new investor, it's like, oh my God, I don't want to do a foundation. But on the other hand, once you get experience, what you realize is that's really where some of the best deals are, is that when you're looking at a property that needs foundation work and the seller, they hate telling people, yeah, I'm selling the house with it because it eliminates 98% of all the buyers. And when 98% of the market of buyers is going away, price starts plummeting. That's right. And that's where... I know that we recently bought a house where the quotes that the seller was receiving, they got quotes 3 years ago on foundation work from some of the retail guys. And one of the quotes was like $15,000, and that did not include underground plumbing. And the other quote was $25,000. So they know that right off the bat, they're going to have to be discounting the property about $30,000 just to get somebody else to pay the $25,000, because you wouldn't want to just do that for a wash. Like, why do I want to just discount at $25 when I just got to turn around because I got to be paid for taking on your problem, right? If you say, hey, Tom, handle this problem for me. Well, yeah, I need to pay your problem. And it's like if you say, hey, Tom, I've got this $1,000 medical bill I want you to pay for me. Okay, well, send me $1,500. I'll pay the $1,000 medical. Well, I shouldn't do that for free, right? Right. And that's where insurance, that's how they make their money, right? That's an insurance company, right? I'll pay that bill for you. And I think that's where people don't realize that insurance kind of fails. But I digress. But, I got a really big discount on this house, and then was able to hire you guys, and I think initial quote was about $5,000 to do all the foundation work. So that's average. $5,000 versus $25,000. That's $20,000 of instant profit in there. That's right. In fact, I actually got about a $30,000 discount just because of the foundation work.
Well, the thing is, Tom, is that a lot of these, investors, a lot of the people that are buying these houses, the problem with foundation is that you don't really know what it's going to take to do it. And so when a company comes in and they quote you, you really don't have anything else to go by. You either just have to take their word for it, or you have to get another company out there. And that's why it's so scary for these investors to buy foundation homes at first, is because they don't know who to trust and whether or not they're being told
like the
truth.
Ghostbusters. Who do you call, right?
Right.
I've got this problem. Who do you call? Well, I think that's one of the great things about our tribe that we're putting together, with the RIA, and which is, putting trusted vendors together. We've used you guys. We know other people that have used you guys. It takes a long time to develop a really good reputation. I developed Fast Track in October of 2010. And so now, they're coming up on 7 years old. That's a 7-year reputation of doing like 700 houses where you can talk to, hundreds and hundreds of investors. Hey, what was your experience? Not one person ever says anything negative, right? Exactly. It takes a long time to develop that experience. But when you're brand new, you don't know those stories. I walk into an event and I know who the players are. Yeah, use that guy. Don't use that guy. Use this guy. But becoming a part of a group like this, that's when it gets really, really exciting.
It's huge.
It's a win for you guys, and it's a win for the investors, and it allows people to put that fear behind them. That's our slogan, right? Put your fear of real estate investing behind you.
That's right.
Yeah, but but it's true. I mean, the reason why that slogan exists is because it's really true. You can walk into those kind of situations. So I know y'all just. Well, we ask y'all to stop in the middle of because y'all. One of the things about doing interior piers is that y'all dig this really big hole, and normally you fill up the holes, but we ask you to do that to not fill up the holes, come back later and fill up the holes, because we're using your holes to do some of our plumbing work.
Sure. To
bring our master plumber. That's going to save money on when we bring our master plumber in to put drain lines in. And
that's one of the great things about working with a company like us.
You'll get it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we work
you'll get
with
it.
investors,
right?
So we know what you're dealing with. We know what you guys are going through out there.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the extra little steps to help you make sure that everything is going smooth.
Yeah, you understand the system and the process, and you're like, well, I know it's more inconvenient for you because it's a whole lot easier. Wrap up the job, be done with it. Now, sometime in the future, in the next 10 days to 2 weeks, I'm going to call you back. Hey, those holes, need you to fill those up. You'll come back in then. Right. But it's great when you have a symbiotic relationship when you're like, oh no, we can't do that. And that's the way those retail guys are, man. They want to get it in, get it out, but they don't. Hey, I want to keep using you, but there's got to be this give and take because I really need those holes open. My plumber's not here at the same time y'all are doing the foundation work. So
we respect good customers.
Yeah,
absolutely. Want
to
keep using us. We're willing to go a little bit above and beyond what a lot of these guys are willing to do to make sure that you're happy and that you get the kind of customer service that you deserve on these.
Yeah, it makes for a good win. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. Hey, Ginger, you're up in Amarillo. What's going on? So also people are watching us. People walk up to me when I'm at real estate networking events or our event or things like that, and people go, hey, and it sounds kind of strange to me, hey, I watch your radio show every day. And I go, wait, you mean you listen? No, I'm watching it. So people are watching us on the Book of Faces because, we're on an AM radio station that doesn't reach much past Houston, really. I mean, it doesn't go to Dallas or anything like that until it rebroadcasts in Dallas. But we have the pleasure of being on the Book of Faces. So I know we have people that listen to us up in Seattle, Washington, and San Francisco, and Kansas City, and Denver, and Boston. Because really I know that because all those people were just at our last 3-day weekend event when we had it up in Dallas. We had people flew in from Pittsburgh and Boston and Denver. It was crazy. Wow. So right now y'all do Houston, but are y'all looking at expanding into Dallas?
We are. That's kind of one of our next steps. After our 5-year anniversary, we should. We're looking at expanding into some other markets, and we've got actually a friend of his that's up in Dallas right now that does some work up there. So we're looking to hopefully maybe team up with those guys and be able to offer some things up there as well. So
that's awesome.
That's one of our next steps. Absolutely.
Great. So what's the best way to get a hold of you guys? If I've got a property that I'm looking at and I want you to come out and do a foundation inspection, who do I call?
You call me anytime at 832-329-1687. Again, that's 832-329-1687.
So I know the best way, if I'm analyzing a property, like I saw a property on MLS just recently, won't tell where or anything like that, but it's obviously had some foundation work done. Looks like it still had some more movement, things like that. I want to place an offer. Now, I've got more experience. I ballpark what I think the foundation is going to be. But when I'm brand new, I know I can give you guys a call, but are there some rules of thumb that if I needed to make a decision next 30 minutes and you say, hey, Tom, I can't get out there till tomorrow, what are some rules of thumb that I should look for in terms of, can you walk through some of that?
Well, first of all, major cracks on the floor, first of all. And if there is a major crack on the floor, you want to make sure that it doesn't have a half-inch gap. Okay. Because that would tell you that it doesn't have rebar, basically.
Okay.
So
if the gap is less than a half an inch, then
it should be like a quarter inch. It should never open up more than a quarter. Yeah, no more than a quarter inch.
So what that means is that your fix is going to be different because there's not structural steel holding the concrete together. Basically, somebody poured concrete, and it's just like a layer, like almost like you would do a back patio, like a 10x10 back patio, which oftentimes doesn't have structural steel in it, right?
Or less, chicken wire mesh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
Yeah.
that and just cracks on the walls, obviously on the outside brick.
Yeah.
That'll really tell you how far it's sloped. If you see huge cracks outside, then you can tell. And then you want to see is it go all the way around? Is it just in certain parts of the house where you can kind of see where the gutters aren't placed right, or it doesn't have gutters? You can kind of tell where the water pools up around the house.
Okay.
Other than that.
So then how do I quantify, how do I take that information and then quantify it to like a dollar amount? Now, and what I would want to do is if I'm making my offer based on what I need to do in the next 30 minutes, and we'll talk about this on the other side of the break, is how do I say that's $2,000, that's $4,000, that's $6,000 or $10,000?
Well, if you wanted to measure it out and go ahead.
Go to break. We're going to answer this on the other side of the break. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. That's 713-785-1817. Or give us your questions on the Book of Faces at rightpathrealestate.com.
Mic's off, guys.
All right. Thanks. Ginger Gwynn. Ginger wants you expanded in Amarillo.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's right around the corner.
Yeah, that's no problem. Amarillo, huh? It's only
It's
east.
still in
cracks
Texas.
in your walls, ceilings are
far away.
Yes,
from
ma'am.
foundation leveling problem.
It's a one-day
You have
job.
floors
Guy
that
in the
stick
blue,
or just
can you
won't
turn
open
his
right.
mic up?
Maybe you have
Yes.
gaps
Really
in the
low.
bricks of your
Yes, I can.
fireplace. You need GreenTree Foundation
Check
Leveling.
testing. Is
a
this better?
fast, high-quality
Better, better.
foundation
Because, like, when
leveling
you talk
company based
normally
here
on
in
air,
Houston.
it's really low,
They
but
know
right
how
now
hot
you
it gets
sound
on the
fine,
Gulf
but I
Coast.
I
High
need your
summer
normal talk to
temperatures,
be
heavy
higher.
rainfall, and clay-rich soils are leading
All right, we'll
causes
go
of
for what we
foundation
got.
cracks.
All right, cool.
No
If
problem.
you have a cracked slab or a shifting foundation, call GreenTree Foundation Leveling at 832-329-1687. How old is your house? Many older homes in our area require foundation repair simply because of our climate and soil conditions. GreenTree Foundation Leveling provides free estimates within 24 hours. They repair concrete slab foundations and pier and beam homes too.
I'm going to
The
elaborate
experts
on
at
that
GreenTree
answer.
Foundation
All right, sounds
Leveling
great.
work fast
Yeah,
and
just-
offer competitive rates, even a lifetime transferable warranty. Call 832-329-1687 to schedule an appointment with GreenTree Foundation Leveling.
Are you an active real estate investor? If so, a real estate attorney is a crucial member to add to your team. Contact Ehlert Law at 346-231-1120. Ehlert Law serves clients in real estate and business law with principal offices in Houston and their acquisitions and dispositions. We
That's
are
a big
equipped to
one,
serve
too,
you in
yeah.
your residential and
I'm gonna
commercial
talk
real
about
estate
the-
law needs.
the
Contact
size of the
Ehlert Law
house
at
and the widespread of the
346-231-1120.
problem. You know, because
We
the
draft
more- the
and review
further the
docs
problem is
and
around,
structured
the more
transactions and
years
represent
it's gonna
you
be.
in disputes
It
and
can be
litigation.
a really huge
Or
slope
choose
in
one of our
little
transaction
section, and
packages
it's
to
not
cover
as
your
bad
sub
as
2,
if it's
wholesale,
little
wraps,
slope
or private
all over
financing
the house, you know what I
deals.
mean? So that's
Our
what
business
you
and
can
commercial
see.
services include business contracts, entity formations, and business consultations. If you need a reliable, dedicated firm to serve on your team, contact Ehlert Law at 346-231-1120.
Yeah.
346-231-1120. Paid for by Gerald Ehlert,
Man,
principal
I would
offices
rather
in
just
Houston,
convince
not
them
board
to call
certified by
us.
the Texas Board of Legal Specialization.
But like I said, if it's
Are you expecting to close
2 minutes,
accurately,
guys, 2
on
minutes.
time, and with lots of communication on your home purchase? You've come to the right place. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with Legacy Mutual Mortgage.
Right, even
Our
if you tear
goal
the
is to
whole
give our
thing up,
borrowers
50
and referral
piers,
partners
you know
an
what I'm saying?
amazing experience during the loan process. My team believes in putting people and culture before
I wanna
results.
talk
Our
about
company
if the house
concentrates
is
on building those
30, 40,
teams who
50
operate
years
with
old,
structure,
we'll definitely take the
process,
plumbing
and
into
recognition
consideration
for
when
going
we're
the
doing these
extra mile for
estimates.
you. This way, we have the energy to make
Because a
this
lot
your
of times
best
they're
home
already gonna
purchase
be
ever.
shot.
Give us a call today to find out the simple steps to get started. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, the Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Jennifer.legacymutual.com
So I'm just gonna
or
expand,
call
Tom, on that question that you asked before the break, okay?
713-579-3611. Again, Jennifer.legacymutual.com. We can't wait to consult with you soon. NMLS 514497.
Equal Housing Opportunity Lender. NMLS 514497.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly
All right, 1
general
minute,
contractor
fellas.
for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey
There's a
remodeling
legend.
of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done. Train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right. And complete the
All right,
work in a
20
proper
seconds,
order so
gentlemen.
it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992. Or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
This is Business 1110.
All right, fellas, stand by. Hot mics in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio. Live on the Book of Faces at Right Path Real Estate. Also, if you want to find out about our event, our next event that we're going to have is at the Hilton West Chase at 9999 Westheimer this evening. Go to rightpathrealestate.com. Check out our events. I'm joined live in the studio by the guys from GreenTree Foundation. They're our foundation experts, and they're our trusted people that we go to when we need foundation work done. So y'all just recently did a house for us over on Carriage Hill, and started out 30 piers, all interior piers. Needed to go back and readjust the 12 exterior piers, as I recall. So, because there was previous foundation work that was done not by you guys, but probably, what do you think, 20-something years ago? I mean,
easy.
Yeah. So before the break, we were talking about if I'm a brand new investor and I want to start dipping my toe into the better deals, which oftentimes have foundation work that needs to be done, how, without getting you guys called out, because sometimes these best deals go fast. I mean, because if an investor's competing against me, for example, for a deal, and I don't need you guys to come out to estimate it because I'm going to throw a number at it so that I'm safe and secure, right?
Exactly.
You know, if they're gonna have to get you guys to come out, which I'm not discouraging doing that. If you have the time, get it locked under contract, that kind of thing. If you can buy it with an option, if you're brand new, that'd be even better. But some of these deals, you know, it's a cash offer, no options, no contingencies. It's those, I mean, and so you got to be. So what's a good rule of thumb on how I can estimate foundation repair?
Some of the things that I want my investors to take into consideration when they're walking a property and they're thinking about foundation. Obviously, you know, you walk the property, you see a couple cracks in the sheetrock or you see a few cracks in the brick. That's going to be your telltale signs that you may have some foundation issues there.
Right.
Really, to understand how to quote these jobs, you know, pretty successfully, you really need to understand what we're doing. And what we're going to be doing is basically every 6 feet in the areas that are affected, the areas that are under tolerance, which means they're actually sloped, you know, about an inch and a half or further down from the highest point, the reference point. We're going to come in and we're going to put a concrete pile about every 6 feet. So what I want you to understand is that even a small affected area, even a small slope in a large area is going to be more than, let's say, a large slope in a small area. So in other words, if you just have one corner of the house, even if it's sloping 4 or 5 inches, if it's just one section, we're only going to have to put 5-10 piers in that section to lift it to 5 inches. But let's say you have a 2-inch slope and it's all the way around the house, we're going to have to come in and put 30 piers in order to fix that. So it's not necessarily the size of the slope. It's not how far is it down. You know, if you go in and you see a house and you can see that the slope is 3 or 4 inches down, that's not necessarily the sign that it's going to be more money. It's really the size of the area affected. So when you're walking the house, the larger the footprint of the house is, the actual, you know, obviously the larger the foundation is, the square footage of the house can definitely be a determining factor. I would always budget a little bit
and
more
make the
for
distinction between
houses.
It's not necessarily so like a 2,000 square foot 1-story house may be more expensive than a 2,500 or 3,000 square foot 2-story house, right?
Correct, because it's all about the foundation itself.
It's
and the actual
same with roofing,
footprint.
right? Yeah,
exactly right. So, and that's another misnomer that a lot of investors don't realize until later is that the square footage of the house on a 2-story, we're only looking at the square footage of the bottom section of the home because it's really the foundation footprint that we're looking at. So that extra square footage in the top is not going to make any difference, you know, as far as what we're doing. So it's not something that they really need to take into consideration at all with that.
So if I'm walking into a house, you know, how do I know it's 2,000, it's 4,000, it's 6,000, it's some number? What's the biggest number that you think I would ever want to throw at something?
5,000 is a great starting point for really any foundation. That's kind of our medium, our medium as far as average, you know, what we charge on these foundations. If you think it's really bad, if it's a really huge house, and you can put 10,000 in it, that's going to be really the higher end. from 5 to 10 is.
So you're saying 99% of the time it's going to be less than $10,000.
Sure. Correct.
Got
yes.
it. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
For us,
but
now,
on average, you're going to say probably 70% of the time it's going to be $5,000 or less. So if I'm budgeting $5,000, so it's only in extreme cases I'm going to go, and then there's probably some kind of variance between the $5,000 and the $10,000. Okay.
And another consideration, just real quickly, that I want everyone to take into consideration is the age of the house.
Yeah.
The older the house is, where you're buying a lot. These investors are buying a lot of houses that are 30, 40, 50, 60 years old.
Right.
When you're talking
where the
about
money
houses and it is, and that's where you can make.
Well,
because
a lot of times you've got much older areas that have not been updated, and the people that have lived there for the last 40, 45 years,
that's right.
They bought the house, for $30,000 or $40,000. So the fact that they're able to, and in that area, the area by itself has moved up to $150,000, $160,000. So they're selling the house for a lot more money. They're getting a lot of equity out of the house, those kind of thing.
I would
it's
always
not retail ready.
I think about stuff like plumbing on the older houses.
Yeah.
If it's got the original cast iron plumbing from 1963, chances are that plumbing hasn't made it, no matter if there was foundation work or not done in the last 50, 60 years. So take that into consideration, because a lot of times those pipes are already going to be busted. Now, just for the information of my investors, we do what's called a hydrostatic test.
Right.
So before we perform any foundation lifting, we're actually going to check the plumbing, make sure that it's intact.
Okay.
If it's broken, we'll let you know right away.
Do you do that even if you're going to break it? Because there's a certain amount of lift that that no matter what, we could do everything perfectly right, and we're going to break pipes, right?
Well, we're going to use common sense.
Okay.
If they're going to break and we know they have to be replaced, obviously we're not going to take the time to worry about a hydrostatic test like that. But a lot of times you just don't know, and we want to know before we start whether or not they were broken, because we want our investors to have as much information as possible before we start our lift on exactly what's going on.
Can you ballpark statistics on what percentage of the time they're broken already?
It's probably about, on the old cast iron piping, it's probably 50-50.
Wow.
If it's PVC pipe, it's probably about 25% of the time, depending
broken already?
Right,
Okay.
depending on, and a lot of times it's because what's happened to the foundation has also caused the pipes to break.
Correct.
When the house starts to slope, those pipes go with it.
Right.
And a lot of times that's, gonna break the pipes right away.
If there's a lot of interior damage, that's also indicative of having a plumbing issue.
Exactly.
So,
right.
Yeah, if the whole exterior is fine and you have some, slopes on the interior by the restroom, most of the time that's going to be your issue.
Yeah, got it. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Our phone number for calling and asking questions. If you have any questions about anything related to real estate, especially if you have foundation questions, if there's something that you go, if I could just get this one question answered about foundation, then that would really help me get, helpful. So give us a call, 713-785-1817. That's 713-785-1817. And what's y'all's best number?
You can reach us at 832-329-1687.
Okay, so got some questions coming in on the Book of Faces. So Mary Molina asks, does lifetime warranty exist on foundation work?
That's a great question, because a lot of these
I would say yes and no.
Exactly. It really depends on the company that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Lifetime is a relative term depending on the lifetime of a company. And obviously, if a company doesn't exist in 5-10 years, then that warranty is not going to be worth anything.
Because I've seen a lot of foundation companies come and go. I'm sure y'all have as well.
Sure.
And then the biggest issue that you have, Mary, is that when you're going in and fixing a foundation, like we just put 30 piers in a house that already had piers in it. And so I don't know who the company was, and I could probably get it from the previous owner and all that kind of stuff. But is that warranty transferable? Do they have to get the work done? All those kind of things done. So it looks like that there were maybe 12 or 15 piers done before. Well, those weren't necessarily the problem areas, although in this particular case they were problem areas, because it looks like that the people that did the previous foundation work, they overjacked the house is what they did. Mm-hmm. And so really the right thing would have been to do is get them, but once it's overjacked, there's not really a fix for that. You got to jack up the rest of the house. So they're only going to warranty the areas that have already been adjusted. So if it's done properly, and then let's say 2 years later you have more foundation movement, then it's going to be, is it because of the piers that have already been put in, which chances are it's not. It's most often that's now on stable footing, if you will.
Exactly.
And the rest of the house is not on stable footing, and you've got really unstable soil. And so, or you could have had a plumbing break that has happened after the foundation repair that's done. So
I can tell you right now that the main reason that you would have warrantyable work for foundation is that the company didn't push the piers far enough the first time.
Correct.
The major cost of doing foundation work like this is the material cost, is the actual concrete that we put into the ground. So what a lot of companies do is they'll go 5, 7, 8 feet down, and then they'll stop. And that gives them enough pressure to be able to lift the house against that, but in a few years...
But that's not necessarily the point of refusal, is it?
Correct.
So it's enough to lift it, but not the point of refusal.
Exactly. So what we try to do in order to not have warranty work to have to do, because I'm just going to be honest, I don't want to have to do warranty work. So I maintain that my guys make sure that they push those piers as far as they can go down.
So you can't push them any further.
You can't push it anymore. And sometimes that could be up to 20 feet.
I know, right?
You'd be amazed at how far sometimes you can go. And we'd rather spend a little bit of extra money in material right now to make sure we don't have to come back than have to come back and do warranty work.
We also double up when we need to, like around fireplaces or around
heavy spots,
inside corners.
Right.
Yeah, we always like to double up just to ensure we don't have any foundation issue later.
Okay. All right, and then Daniel also asked a question. What's the cost increase if the pipes break?
Well, if you want to replace the whole plumbing, it'll fall between $6,000 and $7,000. Pretty much, and that's replacing all underground plumbing, including tunnels.
But that's going to be on a typical 3-bedroom, 2-bath, two-car garage.
2,000, 2,300 square foot.
What we normally suggest is if we
that's not going to be a 7,000 square foot. Because I have one of our one-on-one students. They were looking at a 7,000 square foot house that's like 7 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms. Not going to be on that. It's not going to be 500. So what you're really looking at is, I think it's about $1,500 per run is how I calculate. And you're typically going to have a run for each bathroom. You're going to have a run for the kitchen and a run for the utility room, things like that.
Exactly.
So count how many runs you're going to have.
And we normally recommend that you have a camera run through the system to try to pinpoint where the breaks are.
Right.
If we can pinpoint 2 or 3 breaks, usually we can dig directly to those.
Right.
Save you a few thousand on just fixing what's broken.
Right.
If the whole system's shot, we have to replace everything in there, then obviously we have a set price that we can usually do most houses for.
Mm-hmm. Sounds great. And then let's see. Also, Mary said, as a follow-up to her previous, she said she had someone tell her that whoever offers that type of warranty are not legit companies. And
they all offer it. Every foundation company offers lifetime warranty. They all say it. It's whether or not they're going to actually uphold it or not is really what you're
because that's what it really comes down to is hey, it's a little bit like having car repairs, right? It's like if your starter goes out, then they replace the starter, and the starter is warranted for as long as you have that starter, right? Or for however many miles or whatever it is. But that doesn't mean that they're also warranting your battery or all the other things that go out. So they're only warranting the areas that they did the work. And so if the house moves again in the future, it's not going to be moving where they did the work. It's going to be moving in a completely different area. So if you're doing 30 piers under a house, that's not the whole house.
And let's say the starter going out breaks another part.
Yeah, right.
That's not warranted.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not going to warranty that part,
no, of course
even though the starter was warranted.
All right, so you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Give us a call, 713-785-1817.
Mic's off, guys.
Do you have cracks in your brick, doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart?
They all offer
then you
that,
may have
so
foundation movement.
legit.
Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. Foundation Check has been in business since 2009 and has completed over 1,400 evaluations. We're not in the business of repairing foundations or selling you unnecessary pier work, but we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825. Or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com. That's foundationcheck.com.
You found or inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals.
When are you guys going to be in your new place,
Tom?
That's a good question. I sent an email during the...
We understand that investors aren't just
I was
looking for
hoping
a
we
number
didn't show
of
up
what
at
their
the wrong
property is
place
worth.
today.
No, right?
Comprehensive analysis
Yeah,
of the
we'll
market.
make sure that Summer's
Give
sending out
Next
to
Gen a call
everybody
at
that...
713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Investor loans offering up to 100% financing are still
Yeah,
available.
which we'll
You just have
definitely
to
be in
know
the new
where to
space
look.
before
Look
then.
no
We may be
further
moving
than
Sunday.
Noble Mortgage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Noble Mortgage is a full-service mortgage company that's been helping investors since 2003. Noble Mortgage offers up to 100% financing to investors that covers purchase, repairs, and closing costs. In addition to private money, Noble Mortgage offers conventional loans, FHA, and even no-income documentation loans for both residential and commercial properties. Call and ask about our 5-point guarantee, which includes free pre-qualifications within 2 business days. Call 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com. Our team has over 50 years experience in the mortgage industry. Call us today, 713-680-8100, or visit us on the web, noblemoney.com, noblemoney.com.
NMLS 292143, 8203 Willow Place Drive, Houston, Texas, 77070.
Virtuoso Graphics is not your ordinary sign shop. We're your one-stop shop for all your signage and graphics needs. We're located in the Galleria area and have been in business for over 13 years. We offer a wide variety of signage products, including bandit, aluminum, and ADA compliant signs to 3D letters. Need something printed? We can get that done too. From outdoor banners to business cards and anything in between. Take advantage of our laser engraving services. We can custom engrave on many products available through our catalogs or your own personal items. From large orders to small, we can accommodate your specific needs. We pride ourselves on customer service and work one-on-one with customers to make sure they get a good quality product. Come view our showroom to browse our many samples to get you inspired. Want your business to get noticed? Give us a call at 713-623-4425 or visit our website at virtuoso-graphics.com.
Investor Loan Source is Houston's premier investor loan company.
All right.
Our products and approval process are unique in the Houston marketplace. First of all, we loan based on the asset alone. That means no credit minimums, no income requirements, and no reserve minimums. Second, we have short-term loans for fix and flips and several long-term options for rental properties. Since we're asset-based lenders, everyone is approved. Check out Investor Loan Source at ils.cash. That's ils.cash.
This is Business 1110.
All right, fellas. Hot mics in 5, 4, 3. Stop it. 2, 1. Here we go. Hot mics.
Welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817, 713-785-1817. You're either listening on AM 1110 or on podcast on TuneIn or iTunes or iHeartRadio, or you might even be watching us on the Book of Faces at Facebook.com/Right Path Real Estate. In which case you're watching our radio show, which always sounds weird to me. But I'm joined live in the studio with the guys from GreenTree Foundation. What's the best number to reach you guys?
You can reach us at 832-329-1687.
Okay. So how much advance notice do y'all need to have? If I buy a house, I know it needs foundation work. How much advance notice? Because what people don't realize is that if you're doing if they've never done a major rehab before, foundation has to happen first. I mean, you can't move that further down the line and go, oh well, y'all are backed up, 3 or 4 days, or maybe even a week or 2 weeks. Oh, I can't, so busy, can't get to you for 2 weeks. Oh, that's okay. I'll go ahead and start and do everything else and do the foundation last. If y'all aren't ready for me, I'll just no. You got to do you guys first.
That's right.
Yeah, so y'all are always the guys that, because I want to typically tell you a couple of days before my closing, because since we have a transaction coordinator, and since what we teach is how to run this like a business, so it's all about systems and processes. So part of our system and processes is, hey, when the day of closing's coming, the day before we're ordering utilities in our name, so that we have water, gas, electric. Because how many investors do y'all have that go, oops, I forgot. Oh yeah, the lights are on. Well, yeah, because they were on from the previous owner, and they you know, so y'all show up and then y'all are busy working. You're doing your power tools and everything shuts down, right?
It happens.
Yeah, it happens, right? Yeah, so you got to have a system or process in place for that. So we want to make sure utilities are on first, and then that y'all know when our closing date is, because y'all really need to get in there and do y'all stuff before anything, before the demo, before any.
Absolutely.
The only people that I typically have come in before you guys is my architect, if it's going to be a major rehab, my engineer oftentimes, and then foundation check to come in and have an engineered drawing on. But outside of that, then y'all are the first real trades that are doing any real work. You know, not that. Back up.
We know what you mean.
Yeah, not to offend any. Not that the architect's not doing real work or those other things. Wow, I just stepped in it there, didn't I?
We're normally looking right now about 3 to 5 days out. We've got multiple crews that we're running right now, so we try to accommodate. You know, we know, as you just said, we know that getting us in there first is a major priority for you guys. So we're very respectful of that. We try to get these done in a timely manner and make sure that we get in there as quickly as possible. So we're definitely going to work with you as much as possible, get them done. But the more notice you can give us, the more the house is ready for us to access with, like you said, the lights on, the water on, empty, ready to go. Mm-hmm. The more that you can make it easier for us to get in there and get out, obviously, the better it is for everyone.
So in all the different trades, whether it's general contractors, whether it's roofers or foundation people, I mean, there's some good companies, and then there's some fly-by-night companies that are out there. So if I'm a brand new investor, outside of just saying, hey, because it's easy to say, I endorse you guys because we use you, y'all do a great job and all that. How could I spot a fly-by-night foundation company? What are some of the telltale signs? What would I look for? Because they're going to say the right things, right?
Yeah, what I've seen is
you need to move your microphone up. Yeah, that's okay.
Their proposals are all handwritten.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I've seen, right?
Also, the biggest
so red flag is if they're handwriting their proposals, they're drawing out the pier map, but everything's handwritten. That's a red flag. Okay.
No, but the biggest one, Tom, is that they come out there and they don't have a zip line.
Yeah, that's another one.
Oh,
You're
okay.
right.
I have seen these guys come out and they come and they say, "Oh yeah, this thing's going to need about 18 piers," and I'm going, how could you possibly know that without taking the elevations of the property? Mm-hmm. How could you guess?
With a 4-foot level.
Yeah. So y'all just use a term that we know what that means, but for the brand new listener, so a zip level is the measuring device. It's a big yellow box.
Correct.
And then it's got this long, looks almost like an insulated extension cord, but it connects to another piece, and that's what foundation companies use.
Any engineer, any foundation company, anybody that knows
standard.
what they're doing.
In fact, the brand it's a zip level brand, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So there are no knockoffs that I'm aware of. It's zip level or it's nothing. So they're not. If your foundation company's not doing an inspection of the foundation using a zip level, then
absolutely
tell them get the hay out.
That's right.
Okay.
Also, some of these companies will come in and say that they don't install interior piers. Period.
Okay.
Big red flag to me as well, because some of these properties are impossible to get to with intolerance without having to put some interior.
So they
piers
only
in
do
there.
perimeter piers.
Right.
They don't do interior piers at all.
Correct.
Okay. Now, if they're more retail, most of the people that do that I've seen on the retail side, when they're doing interior piers, they're tunneling underneath, right?
Right.
So you're
They're
saying that
charging a lot.
Yeah. So what you're saying is it's not that they won't do interior piers, but but they won't even tunnel either, right? So they say everything can be fixed on the perimeter is what they're essentially saying, which is not true. That's a lie.
Well, they try to trick you into thinking that's all it needs.
Yeah.
So they don't have to get in there and really
do the work.
and do the heavy work.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm amazed that some of these companies can get away with what they do. To be quite honest with you, so it's
Yeah. So any other red flags? So just to summarize, they're not using a zip level. They're handwriting their proposals. They don't have some kind of professional business system where they're being able to print out a proposal, things like that. They say they don't do interior piers. What else?
What I've seen is,
I mean,
it's kind of hard.
Yeah, that's kind of the main ones that I would say that you really want to be looking out for. You know, if they come in and, like I said, if they pretend to know 100% exactly what's wrong with the foundation just by looking at it, I would be skeptical as well, because the thing about foundation is it's not an exact science. We're going in, Tom, and we're looking at the top of a foundation that was poured 40, 50, 60 years ago.
Yeah, and you're trying to wonder what's going on underneath it, right?
You never know what's under there till my guys get under there. They start lifting it, you don't know how it's going to respond. You don't know what kind of rebar is in there. There's so many unknowns, so many variables before we start. If someone comes in claiming that they're an expert and that they don't even have to use anything to tell you what's going on over there, they're basically just blowing smoke, because it's really, I try to warn my customers and let them know that this is an estimate of what we're going to do, but until we get under there, I mean, from experience, from the one we just did at Carriage Hill, we had a layout, and we had to go a little bit different from what the layout said to actually get it correct and get it lifted right.
Yeah, because of the because no one really knew what was in the concrete. Was it mesh? Was it rebar? Was it what? Exactly. We were hoping for at least one of those, because sometimes there's nothing in there, right?
It's true.
We knew it wasn't post tension, and so then y'all worked out a way to do fewer digs and do a larger area underneath that, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so I remember when I started Fast Track, it was a daily basis that I was seeing things that I had never seen before. And the more I did it, got into about year 2, and it was going a pretty long period of time before I'd ever run across something where I go, wow, never seen that before, and it probably maybe once a month, and then it got to like once every 3 months, and then like maybe once every 6 months. So how infrequent is it for you guys, before y'all say, wow, haven't never seen that before, that's a new one on me, right?
Well, we're probably at about 1,000 houses now.
Yeah,
so
right.
We're getting to that point where there's not much we haven't seen. Yeah, we actually had to lift one about 14 inches. It was on a fault line over on Whitecliff.
Yeah.
And that was one of those ones, about a year ago, we went, man, we've never seen this before.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, there's a handful of reasons why these foundations sink. It's going to be trees, it's going to be soil, it's going to be plumbing. It's going to be one of a handful of it's going to be one of a handful of issues. We're getting really good at being able to spot the issues now and be able to kind of recommend to our investors what they need to do to make sure the problems don't happen in the future.
Right.
That's another thing that I believe we go above and beyond what some of these other companies do, is we try to make sure that you're going to not just lift the foundation, but fix whatever issues you're having over there so that you don't have them again, and really try to help you understand about foundation and make sure our customers are pretty educated about what's going on here, and a lot of these companies want to keep their investors in the dark. They don't really want you to know what's going on, because then they can just tell you anything and you have to believe them. And I would rather have customers that are educated, that are smart, and that know what's going on, and we know that we're going to get future business from them.
Okay, so Ginger asked a question here. It says, what are signs that previous foundation work has been done?
The biggest one is going to be what's called a concrete patch.
Yeah.
A concrete patch is the little square that looks a little bit different when you look in the driveway and you go up and you see, the concrete looks one way, and all of a sudden there's a little 2 by 2 foot square where the concrete looks a little bit different. That's what's called a concrete patch, and what that means is that someone has busted a hole through that concrete, gone underneath the house, installed a pier, and then once that's done, we fill that back up and then put a concrete patch on self-leveling crete to cover that back up. Other ways that you can tell, obviously, if there are cracks and different things in the sheetrock, in the walls, and in the brick that you've seen, look
2
like
minutes.
They've come back together. In other words, they basically the cracks are kind of come back on themselves, where it looks like the brick has broken out a little bit and different things like that. So
now I'm laughing because if you could watch what he's doing, he's doing hand gestures on a radio show.
Hey, we're on TV. We're on Facebook.
I know we are. But for those people on radio, he's doing some awesome hand gestures. If you see these cracks pushing together, welcome to radio.
That's right.
Yeah.
For those of you who couldn't see that, basically,
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Okay. A lot of times these companies will come in and they'll patch up sheetrock, and they'll come in and they'll actually do the rehab work before the foundation has had time to settle, and you can see it re-crack, and you can kind of see through, and you see that there's still cracks in the sheetrock by the door hinges and things like that, even though they've tried to cover that up. So there's ways that you can see that work has been done, even though they try to cover it up, for sure.
Sounds great. So on the other side of the break, one of the things that I want to talk about is that just because you see cracks in the sheetrock doesn't necessarily mean that there's a foundation issue. So I want to talk a little bit about that. How can you tell what a foundation crack looks like in the sheetrock versus, what I'll call an engineering stress crack? So let's talk about that on the other side of the break. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. That's 713-785-1817. Or type out your questions on the Book of Faces. We're monitoring that live. And what's the best number to get a hold of you guys?
You can get us at 832-329-1687.
Sounds great.
Mike's off.
Thanks, Nikki. So, Nikki, how much longer do you have before you get your real estate license?
I have like a month.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, because I have to finish my prep and then take the state exam.
Okay.
I've been in sales so long time. The body language is
Yeah. I know, right? Right. I know.
Trying to explain
What to
something
do to
like
maximize your investment while mitigating risk.
Hey, Nikki, do you want me to give you some advice on for the exam?
Of course, yes.
So on your book, you have like a main study book, right?
We understand that
They gave us a book just specifically for the prep classes.
Yeah. So is there a vocabulary section in there?
Jen a call at 713
I don't think so. In the very back.
Either in the beginning or in the back.
I don't think so. But in my normal classroom books, there are.
Okay. So make flashcards for the vocabulary words that you don't know.
You could lose a deal.
Oh, they gave me flashcards.
Oh, they did? Okay. Then, study the vocabulary. That'll help you a ton.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. You know what? There's people in my prep class that has failed like twice.
Yeah.
Are you a rehabber, wholesaler? Buy and hold or flipper?
I don't know if I told you what I did. I didn't really study for the exam. I did everything online.
Benchmark has been in business for over 10 years.
I didn't want to study all of it. I only want to study what I didn't know. So I decided to go and
call us and let us show you
and take the exam the day that I was leaving for a cruise, and just to kind of find out which sections I did well on and which ones I failed. I was not expecting to pass it, and so I took it just to kind of see where I was. So then I'd start studying, and I made an 87 on it.
Online
so I was done.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
If you have cracks in your walls, ceilings, or floors, you may have a foundation leveling problem. Do you have doors that stick or just won't open right? You need GreenTree Foundation Leveling, a fast, high-quality foundation leveling company based here in Houston. They know how hot it gets on the Gulf Coast. High summer temperatures, heavy rainfall, and clay-rich soils are leading causes of foundation cracks. If you have a cracked slab or a shifting foundation, call GreenTree Foundation Leveling at 832-329-1687 to schedule an appointment with GreenTree Foundation Leveling.
Did you know that there are over $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S.? Imagine if you could use someone's IRA to fund all of your deals. Well, you can. Quest IRA is based locally here in Houston,
we've both
Texas.
been doing that.
At Quest IRA, we
I just
offer
don't want you to feel
retirement
left
accounts
out, bro.
that can be used to invest in real estate, promissory notes, private entities, and much more. Many of our clients loan money from their IRAs to
when you
fund
start
real
talking,
estate
you
deals
just keep
all
talking
over the
and keep
country.
talking.
That's my thing.
I know. That's what I'm let you talk.
However, we do hold free networking events, weekly educational classes, and free consultations with an IRA specialist. For more information, visit our website at questira.com or call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs to tap into the $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S.
Who doesn't like
Call
sitting there
Quest
just talking
IRA
about
at
themselves for an hour?
1-855-FUN-IRAs or go to our website, questira.com.
Yeah, so my leasing guy says
Selecting a foundation company
that it should be
and their
any day
product
now.
For repair is a lot like a game of chance. You simply don't know what you're going to get. The foundation repair industry as a whole doesn't carry a license, nor is it regulated. However, Foundation Check utilizes professional engineers to review all of our files to give you the best foundation analysis in today's market. Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825, or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com.
30 seconds,
Investor
fellas.
Loan Source is Houston's premier investor loan company. Our products and approval process are unique in the Houston marketplace. First of all, we loan based on the asset alone. That means no credit minimums, no income requirements, and no reserve minimums. Second, we have short-term loans for fix and flips and several long-term options for rental properties. Since we're asset-based lenders, everyone is approved. Check out Investor Loan Source at ils.cash.
All right, 3 seconds. Stand by, guys.
All right.
This is Business 1110.
All right. Hot mics in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817, where you can put your fear of real estate investing behind you. If you want to learn about buy and hold, about buy, fix, and flip, if you want to learn about wholesaling, about finding deals, marketing deals, funding deals, all of that, today there's going to be a meeting at the West Chase Hilton 9999 Westheimer, and Jason's going to be talking about money, how to raise money for your deals. And you guys are going to be there tonight.
Yes, sir.
So if you want to talk further about foundations, pick these guys' brain, ask about specific stories, things like that, feel free to come by the event. It's free of charge to go to. We just ask that you register in advance. You can either go to our Facebook page and register through this feed, or you can go to our rightpathrealestate.com website and just register for free there. So we were talking before the break, stress cracks versus foundation cracks. How do you tell the difference?
Very, very tough. A lot of times, when you're walking through these houses, like you said before, you don't have a lot of time, to really determine what's going on there. You're kind of seeing some superficial cracks, and you don't know if it means foundation or not. Really, the problem is that a foundation can move side to side because of soil issues and cause stress fractures and cracks in the ceiling, ceilings and walls without necessarily having to be sloped. To me, really, without having a zip level out there to be able to see, it's impossible to know for sure. But the area where the cracks are can be a pretty telltale sign. If you're looking at cracks and it's above where the corners of the door are at the top or windows, a lot of times those are due to movement, and those can be a sign that the house is moving, not necessarily sloping. So if you go over and you see cracks at a door, but the door is not jamming or
it's not sticking,
or it's not sticking, then it could be that there may not be sloping there. It could just be moving. But again, it's always the best case to have us come out if you can and take a look at it.
I've also seen if you've got a balcony from a second floor that's overlooking that the span of the balcony, oftentimes where that load is transferred from that balcony onto the sidewalls and things like that, oftentimes you'll see cracks there. It's not necessarily foundation movement. It's that it's that the load's not being transferred properly onto those.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And a lot of times it's been there for 40 or 50 years. And so it's not, and it's moved maybe a quarter of an inch or something like that. It's really not that big of a deal. So if you have it another 50 years, and how much of that movement was in the first 10 years and it hadn't moved in the last 30 years, right? So
on that same note, a lot of times when you're looking at a 2-story property, there can be stress in between the 2 floors where it can show cracks and things like that, but it has nothing to do with foundation. A lot of my investors have gone into 2 stories and seen, the second floor have cracks and be leaning and think that it may be a foundation issue, and really it's just a structural thing.
Yeah, it's a framing issue, right?
Yeah. What you could do also is when you see a crack on the interior wall, or one of the exterior walls, right? If there's a crack on there on the sheetrock, you can go on the outside and see if that same crack is still on the exterior,
right.
And then follow it down and see if it goes through the beam of the house, and that'll tell you definitely have foundation problems instead.
Yeah, because foundation problems start from the foundation up, right? They don't stop at the roof line. They start at the foundation, right? Yeah. That's a telltale sign
that it's probably over 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
But sometimes a crack is on the mortar, and then it'll stop right there at the beam.
Right.
And then that'll
30 seconds.
Obviously, it's not as bad.
Okay, so you've been listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. Give us your phone number one more time.
Great. You can contact us at 832-329-1687.
All right, and then don't forget, come out to our event tonight. It's free of charge. Please register in advance. $99.99 Westheimer. It's the Hilton West Chase, which is just inside the Beltway
10
at
seconds.
Briar Park and Westheimer. So look forward to seeing you. Be there at 6 p.m. tonight, and go to our rightpathrealestate.com webpage to